I've been gigging with the FM3 and the Ampero dual Footswitch for quite a while now. My tones have stayed pretty consistent with only the occasional tweak here and there. In my main gigging preset, I actually have more scenes available, but in reality I only ever use the first 3 scenes live. Over the Christmas period though, I played a few shows that needed completely different sounds. That meant I had to start jumping between presets mid-gig. To do that, I was holding the middle Footswitch to access the master layout, switching over to the preset layout to select a different preset, then holding the middle switch again to get back to my scene layout. That worked, but it wasn't ideal. I've also got a new project coming up that's going to need a wider range of sounds, so I knew I needed a better, more streamlined setup. I'm now using the Perform layout, and honestly, it's awesome. One of the big advantages is that once you're in the Perform layout, you're essentially locked into it. You don't accidentally jump to other layouts unless you physically turn knob E on the FM3. When I first got the FM3, I used the per preset layout. That was a great way to learn how the unit worked without committing to editing the factory layout straight away. One of the things that still blows me away about the FM3 is just how powerful the switching system is. You can do an incredible amount with just 3 foot switches. I could easily gig only with the FM3, but adding the Ampero dual Footswitch gives me extra control for a very small investment, and I'll show you how that fits into the Perform layout shortly. Before editing anything, I took a screenshot to the Perform layout in FM3 Edit just in case I ever wanted to revert back. Highly recommended. At its core, the Perform layout lets you use 3 scenes per preset, quickly switch presets, turn effects on and off, and access extra functions without tap dancing. Perfect for the way I gig. Here's the basic structure of the Perform layout as I'm using it. View 1 is my main scenes view, scenes 1 to 3. Holding the left foot switch takes me to view 2, which I use for preset navigation. Holding the middle foot switch from view 2 takes me straight back to scenes. Holding the middle foot switch from scenes takes me to view 3, which I use for utilities. Holding the middle foot switch again takes me back to scenes. Holding the right foot switch takes me to view 4, which is my effects view. And once again, holding the middle foot switch takes me back to scenes. So the key thing to remember is that when you're in views 2, 3 or 4, holding the middle foot switch always brings you back to the main scenes view. Once that's in your muscle memory, the Perform layout becomes really fast and intuitive to use live. Before using the Perform layout, one issue I kept running into was access to the effects. For example, I had a chorus block in my preset, but I basically never used it live. Turning it on required far too much footwork, so it might as well not have existed. That's what the Perform layout fixes. So here are my custom edits to the Perform layout. View 4 is where I control all of my effects. The left foot switch is set to tap for drive 2 and hold for delay 1. The custom mini display label is DR2 del 1. With the middle foot switch, the tap function turns the chorus on and off. And the right foot switch controls reverb 1 and compressor 1 with custom label rev 1 comp 1. This gives me instant access to all the effects I actually use without any tap dancing. By customizing the MIDI display labels, I can clearly see both the tap and hold functions of each switch, which makes this much easier to use on a dark stage. In view 2, tapping the left and right foot switches moves me to the previous or next preset, which keeps preset changes quick and simple. I've also added hold functions to these same switches so I can change delay and chorus flavors by scrolling through their channels. So in practice, holding the left foot switch scrolls through 4 delay types, and holding the right foot switch scrolls through 4 chorus types. You can limit this to 2 or 3 channels if you want, but I went all in and gave myself the maximum flexibility. This means I can completely change the character of my delay or chorus mid-song without changing presets or doing any tap dancing, which is incredibly powerful in a live setting. To make this obvious on the gig, I updated the mini display labels to pre-1 del and pre+1 ch. So at a glance, I know exactly what each switch is doing. View 3 works slightly differently. The left and right foot switches here are mirrored by the Ampero dual Footswitch. I cover the Ampero setup in another video, but in short, it mirrors FM3 switches, in my case switches 7 and 9 in the Perform layout. To set up the Ampero dual Footswitch, press E on the FM3, go to FC Controllers Onboard Switches, navigate to Stand-in Switches, assign FM3 SW2 tip to the layout and switch you want for the Ampero left switch, and FM3 SW2 ring to the layout and switch you want for the Ampero right switch. In my setup, the Ampero foot switch mirrors the left and right foot switches of view 3 in the Perform layout. If I ever want to free those switches up for more functionality, I can simply assign the Ampero to a different layout, but for now, this works perfectly for what I need. I've also added tap tempo to the middle foot switch in view 3, which keeps everything I need right under my foot. That gives me extra switching power without sacrificing anything on the FM3 itself. The final result. So now I can use my main 3 scenes, access the tuner, tap tempo and boost instantly, turn all effects on and off easily, change delay and chorus types live, and switch presets and keep the same control layout. All this from one layout. Honestly, this setup has completely changed how comfortable I feel gigging with the FM3. I hope this video has given you some ideas for customising the FM3's foot switching to suit your own setup. I'm continually impressed by how powerful the FM3 is and how it grows with you as a player. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more FM3 tips and tricks coming soon. See you on the next one. Bye for now.